I'm Chastity with I Need Thee, and in my latest post I've written about what we have chosen for this year's homeschool year. I have a 9th grader, a 7th grader, a 3rd grader, a 2nd grader, and a preschooler this year. So I just thought I would share with you what we have chosen to use and just give you my thoughts a little bit on what we're using. And so if you're curious as to maybe what to use, or maybe you've thought about some of the things that I'm using, I would just like to give you a little bit more insight into that to maybe help out. So I'll just start with my high schooler. So I have a 9th grader this year, and we have chosen to use the My Father's World High School. We have used My Father's World for several years. I don't even know how many now, but I have always liked it. The book choices have always been really just good choices of books, and I know I've learned a lot myself just going along with my children and learning right alongside them. So I have found that the information is very interesting and it's very planned out, so there's very little planning for the parent to do. So anyways, so we have chosen to do the 9th grade Ancient History and Literature. So it comes with this book and the Ancient Literature Supplement. So she will do grammar and composition with these books. She will get her Bible credit and history credit with this 9th grade curriculum. And then we will add in math. We use Saxon math for high school. And then she will do Apology of Science. We will do biology this year. And then she'll have a few electives. So this year we're going to do health and probably intro to logics this year. So that is the most of what we will do with my high schooler. So she will do a lot of Bible reading, a lot of Bible history this year, especially with the ancient history. So I'm really excited about that, and hope to also just go right alongside her, and I hope she enjoys it also. So then for my 7th grader, he will also be doing My Father's World, and he's going to work alongside with my 3rd and 2nd grader, at least for the Bible and history part of things. And so this year for that, we are using the Exploring Countries and Cultures from My Father's World. And like I said, we will do Bible from this. This is more of a geography-based study this year. And then for science, he will also do Apology as General Science for 7th grade. He also does IEW Writing and Grammar. I have found that to be a really well put together writing program. He's not one that likes to write or read, really. He'd much rather be outside, and so to get him writing and to give him kind of a step-by-step of what to do, that program has worked really well. For math this year, he started Saxon math also, and I usually start that at 7th grade. Before 7th grade, I use rod and staff math. I have with my first 4 children, I've used rod and staff math. I really like that program. Have used it the whole time. I like their English program also. We've switched to something a little different this year, but I would recommend it as a very good program. So anyways, so that is what my 7th grader will be doing for the most part. My 3rd grader and my 2nd grader, like I said, will also be doing the My Father's World Exploring Countries and Cultures. And one thing that My Father's World does is it gives you a few things to do that are a little lower, and then some things to do advanced. So in this book, there is like a 7th and 8th grade advanced section also, so that he will have a little bit more to do, some more writing to do along with what they're learning. And so I like that part of it, that they allow you to use it with a wide variety of children and offer all those different options to add in there. So they will be doing that. We also will do first language lessons. I will use that with both of them. And then I also like the Writing with Ease from The Well-Trained Mind also. So both of those are very good books. I've used them for quite a while. Also, with this, my first child, I used the sheets in the back. So with my fourth and fifth child, I have bought notebooks that have the top portion empty and the bottom portion they write, so that they can just use that notebook. They can still draw their picture and do the copy work and everything in those notebooks without using the sheets in the back. So that's also been nice. The science they're going to be using is following along with My Father's World, the Living World Encyclopedia, and then talking about ecosystems is another book we'll be using. And so here's the notebooks, I guess. I had one in here that I was talking to you about, so they can draw their picture and then write at the bottom. So these books work well with the Writing with Ease curriculum also. And my third grader, he will do rod and staff math also. Now my second grader, I have found, has a little bit of a different learning style than what my other children have had. So one thing I love about homeschooling is you can adjust for your kids as you see fit. So I started him out in rod and staff kindergarten and found out that he was just not learning like I would have liked for him to, and he was really struggling with it. And so I realized that he just learns differently than what everyone else does. And so or than what my other children do. So I know there's a lot of kids that probably learn like him. So he's just more of a hands-on visual type of learner. So we have put him into Math You See, the first book. And so that has been really well for him. He is loving that. It is very much of a hands-on manipulative curriculum. And so he's just kind of takes him through a little different than just your traditional math program, kind of like more like the rod and staff is. So we are really liking Math You See for him. So if you have a child that struggles with just getting those math facts down and really understanding what's going on with them, and just needs to have his hands on it and seeing what's going on more, then I highly recommend Math You See for that. And for him, I went ahead and just chose the Math You See. Well, it's from the Demi Learning Spelling You See, actually, and this is more of a dictation type of spelling. So he copies the letters in the top, and in the bottom I will dictate words to him and he writes them, and then towards the end it's just pure dictation of spelling words. So I'm also liking that for him. It's just a very gentle program, and he's doing well with that. And so they work together. For their reading, we use the Pathway Readers, and I use that to teach reading, actually. I have found that just being consistent and reading through leveled books is very beneficial. So we do some phonics and spelling and sounds, but I keep it pretty basic. Them just reading books is the most helpful thing to keep them learning to read. So just being consistent with that is really what pays off, in my opinion. So, and then this year my youngest is in preschool. And so we use some of the Rod and Staff workbooks just to kind of keep him busy. He's really wanting to do school with everybody right now. But I also have started using the Gentle and Classical Preschool Curriculum. And I really found that this is well organized. I really like the format. I have loved the Charlotte Mason method. I do it somewhat. My Father's World follows that format. So I'm kind of a mixture of different methods, but I do love the My Father's World, how it is like the Charlotte Mason method, and I have really grown to love what Charlotte Mason teaches, and it's just a little bit hard for maybe my personality type, but for the most part I try to do it as much as I can. So I loved this preschool being based on a classical method of memorization and a lot of books. And so I do not have the whole kit, which looks wonderful, but since this is my last child, I purchased I just downloaded the teacher's guide. So for each unit, there's a sheet like this one, and it just tells you what scripture they memorize, the character or catechism, the science, math, social studies, health and safety, motor skills, and language arts. And there's just a little thing for each unit that they need to memorize. So it's very gentle. Like the title says, it's true. Each unit has a letter for them, and then you can keep track of the books that you're going to read, or the ones you have in your home or you want to get from the library. So very organized. And my little guy has enjoyed just saying the things back to us. Unit 1 says tadpoles turn into frogs, and so he quickly has memorized tadpoles turn into frogs. And then I'm just going to add to his studies some things that I find maybe on Pinterest, just some activities to go with frogs and the letter A. And so I'm just trying to add to my Pinterest boards things that go along with these unit studies. So I'm going to do the preschool curriculum a little bit on my own, but yet use this format to go by. And so I'm really liking the things that he's learning on here, and excited to see what he's going to learn in the future with this. So I really feel that this is a good preschool program. Also, I wanted to do something fun and new this year because he is my last child. I just wanted to try something kind of different that I haven't done before, and so when I saw this, I thought this would be just a great fit for us, so I'm excited to use it. So anyways, that's just kind of a rundown of what we use. I have written about this in my over at my blog on ineedthee.com if you want to see any other information, or I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about what we use or my thoughts on maybe certain things. For the most part, this is what I have used over the last several years, and have found it to be just pretty good fit for our family. I've tried some different things of just kind of going off on my own, and just didn't go as well, so I've really just tried to stick with something, and again, just that consistency of using the same thing over the years is the best route to go. So I thank you for watching this video, and just let me know if there's any questions I can answer for you about homeschooling, and I look forward to sharing more with you about our homeschool journey.